Welcome! What's up, kiddos? Welcome to Streaming Rainbow, the Streaming Rainbow, a quality content creator on the internet. If you have clicked on this video, you have arrived to the first session of Guild Fantasmagoria. Ooh. This is Streaming Rainbow's fourth actual play TTRPG. We'll be running a D&D 5e mixed level party, 5 and 13. We got some jumbled up tricks for you, some homebrew stuff we'll be throwing your way, some dancing that I already see happening, but we have a quaint little story centered around telling stories. It might be a bit of a mind fuck, but I hope it'll be an entertaining mindfuck. Thank you all for coming in and joining us on this adventure. That being said, my name is Cameron. My pronouns are he, him. I will be your dungeon master tonight, your dungeon daddy, if you will. If you call me that, I will blush. A little fun fact that I'm going to surprise my players with having to also come up with. A little fun fact about me is that I don't swim very well. I have very long and muscular legs that I use a lot for walking, and they pull me right to the bottom of any body of water. So I don't swim very well. Also, I wear contacts usually, and they will fall out in the water, and it's a nightmare not being able to see and also drowning. And that's me. That's the vibe.
The worst part of that is 100% the contacts, not the drowning.
Yeah. You don't want your contact. I had a contact. I was doing the drowsy chaperone at a community college once. And we were in our final dance number, and one of my contacts fell out. And for the entirety of the 12-minute final number, I was dizzy and had a headache and could only see out of one eye.
The dizzy chaperone.
And then our Janet found it and picked it up with her dirty ass makeup colored, probably hadn't been washed in a couple days, white glove for her wedding, and she gave it to me, and I popped it in my mouth.
I was in a cyber opera called Vampirus where I had white contacts, and I realized after one show, one of them fell out into the pool of blood that was on the stage. So that was fun.
Ooh.
Is that a fun fact?
No, I have
Mindy
more.
stole my fun fact.
You can't use that. One time during an opera named Vampira, your white contact fell out into a pool of blood. It's weird that it happened to both of you.
I know, it's crazy.
Once That's is wild enough, but twice with two different people? Wild.
Who wants to go next? You crazy kooks.
I guess I will go. Hello, everybody. I'm Lara, fellow DM of Streaming Rainbow. I forgot. She, they are my pronouns. It's always been the thing. I've never said it out loud. She, they. Fun fact next. Am I talking about? Oh, my character. I'm playing myself and many other things, but I'm playing a character named Jonathan. He is a bard, and that's all you get to know. Also, fun fact. I have shared a stage with Madonna.
Nice.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah. I sang in the Super Bowl with Madonna.
That's cool.
Yeah. And CeeLo Green. Cool. He's an asshole. I will go on. I will.
Hey, I'm not surprised. Never meet your idols, kids. Okay.
Don't do it.
Never meet your heroes. Okay. If you meet me on the street and you like me, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Lies.
I was in a play that technically had John Bowerman in it.
Why does Mindy know
Oh.
all the cool things through plays?
Oh. I love him.
Yeah, he allowed us to use audio files, and the only request was that he get put in the program.
Now, do you mean like the people who love audio, like audio files, or the thing on the computer thingy?
The thing where it's supposed to be a phone call so you can have their voice expressed through the speakers.
Oh, Mr. John Barrowman. I see what
Mr. John
you're doing.
Barrowman. Yep.
What a man.
The play was
Laura,
called Stalking John Barrowman, by the way.
Oh, Lara, did you do your fun fact?
My fun fact was that was Madonna. Madonna is a fun fact.
Was that fun or was
another
that
fun fact?
mind-blowing?
I sang in Carnegie Hall 4 times. I don't know. What's fun for you?
You're blowing my mind. So what that does is I get amnesia and then I don't remember that you said your fun fact.
I name all my pets after alcohol. There you go. That's fun.
Okay, that's fun. It did.
And meanwhile, my mind went to a piece that was performed at Carnegie Hall, performed with my choir with the original band and composer, and I name all of my pets after Batman characters. So there you go.
Mindy has the best stories, man. Forget your campaign, Cam. I know you worked really hard on it. We're just gonna like say things and let Mindy like free associate, okay? Like,
but here's the thing: every fun fact that she gives us for free,
That's
she has
true.
to do another one. That doesn't count.
I mean, you
She's
think
got
I
more.
don't have more?
Why don't you go and prove it?
Right. Hello, I'm Mindy, she, her. I am playing Lady Belizabeth, Matilda, Catherine Analinda Williams III. And as a fun fact, I'll make it D&D related, is the fact that I met my husband when I joined his game. He was a DM, and his main NPC and my character were those types of people that everybody knew they were falling for each other except for them. Yeah. And I themed our wedding around the campaign. So everybody was dressed up as different D&D characters, including Sarah, who was in my bridal party. She was an Arabian sharpshooter. And even the food was themed after things in this game. Because I'm a big old nerd. And one of the funny things, like one of the guests, because the game is based around like the hero of this pulp fiction comic series. And so we had fake covers on books of all the different like stories within this world. And one of my friends opened it up because these were just regular books that my dad had, who's like a water scientist. So they're all like science textbooks. And so this friend opened it up and it's like, wow, this game is really hard.
Cute as hell.
Yeah. It is
yes,
a really
we've
hard
been
game.
married over 12 years now.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That was amazing.
Indeed. That just leaves me, I guess.
That just leaves you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Sarah. My pronouns are she, her. And I will be playing the Sparrowhawk. A freewheeling privateer who will charm the ladies and the men as well.
Ooh,
And a fun fact about me is that some decades ago, I was part of a feature in a British tabloid.
okay. Okay. Yeah. You gotta explain.
I was at that time in a polyamorous marriage with 2 other women, and that got the attention of a local film student who made a little film of us, and that got the attention of a reporter from a British tabloid who came over and was very sweet and asked us nice questions and took nice pictures, and then it came out, and oh gosh, it was terrible.
Oh
no.
no.
It was very trash sort of journalism.
Gross.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like The Sun, are you expecting much?
Right.
Hey, but you know, it's a feat to say you were in a trashy tabloid.
I was.
I mean, that's
Definitely is a fun fact.
And for all you viewers at home who've been following Streaming Rainbow since the beginning, if you had Sarah was in a trashy British tabloid on your bingo checklist, then check that right off.
And not quite related, but my sex scene for HBO was cut, so I'm very minimally in an episode of Quarry.
Love it.
Star-studded session. Okay, we're here for this. This campaign brought to you by Dirty Tabloids, Carnegie Hall, Madonna, and HBO sex scenes. That's all you need, baby. Watch it till the end. Find out more. Ooh.
Here we go.
Okay, let's jump in. Perfect. Now that we've all jumped, you see, as the camera pans down, a sprawling expanse of sand. The wind whistles gently over the dunes, creating a beautiful music for anyone brave enough to withstand the elements and listen. As we travel along the sand, the sun sets as we finally meet our setting, the oasis within this sand, a sprawling, futuristic town and metropolis from the outside. As we pan in a little bit closer, we can see that everything is bustling. Everybody has a job. Everybody has a place to be. There are tubes that people are shooting through to get to one place to another. It is very industrial. It is very corporate. It is very sleek and modern design. In the setting sun, all of the buildings that are made out of like this crystalline, like chic material glisten and refract light over the entirety of the metropolis itself. This is the Scheherazade Corporation, centralized in the middle of the sprawling desert of 1,000 tales. This is where stories are born, rewritten, redacted, and mainly fucked around with. Everybody has a role here, whether they are a writer, an investigator, a researcher, a puzzle maker. Everybody works their best, their hardest to bring stories to the thriving populace of the multiverse. Everything is born here. Every legend dies here. Well, hopefully not, if they can keep the presses running, right? We zoom in to a room, an office, a laboratory, located in one of the central spires. A disgruntled-looking mid-40s-year-old man dressed in a lab coat and a green and yellow Hawaiian shirt with like cargo khaki shorts on. He is smoking a cigarette and eating a tuna fish sandwich, trying not to get crumbs or ashes on the blueprints he's looking at. He takes his pink highlighter, opens it with his mouth, and with his left hand crosses some things out of a book that is on the top right-hand corner of his desk. He takes another drag of his cigarette and hears the doors open behind him. Ding, ding! Visitors approaching. He throws down the cigarette into a trash chute. You hear like a whirring of like a vacuum, like ooh, ooh. go. And he like blows very hastily into that hole on the ground. And we see two figures walk into the laboratory. Sarah, what are you wearing today?
What am I wearing? Why I'm wearing what I am wearing here. A beautiful shirt which proclaims the truth that tacos are tasty.
And Laura, what are you wearing?
Definitely not what I'm wearing, because if I have to be going to work and like whatever, I'm gonna be in the comfiest like onesie, like a kigurumi. I'm in like a squirrel kigurumi.
There we go. A squirrel kigurumi and a
So comfy. I'm gonna get to work.
I love it. I love it. Laura and Sarah are, of course, some of the new storytellers to have been recruited to the Scheherazade agency. They have come into this lab. You have come into this lab to enter your first story. The story of one, Belizabeth, Matilda, Catherine, oh my God, Annalisa Williams. Analinda. One day I'll get it. What is okay? So the story of one Lady Belizabeth, Matilda, Catherine, and Analinda Williams III. You know this man, of course, Laura and Sarah. This is Dan Brookends. He is one of the many IT. What does IT? What does IT even stand for?
Information technology.
He's not an information tech. He's just throwing off words to sound jargon. No, he is the technological expert to the storytelling machines. He puts away his tuna fish sandwich, swivels in his tall stool chair, and leans on his desk and kind of just like waves at you hastily. Come in, come in. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Do I smell tuna fish?
Pay no mind to the tuna fish sandwich or the smell of lingering cigarettes that you might catch a whiff of. That is just how the machines smell.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry, perfectly normal, all up to regulation. You must be... remind me again.
Lara,
yeah. Lara, and that makes you Sarah with an S, not an H,
right?
like the god. Okay, so pretty simple. You got the rundown of the story. You'll be jumping into one of these. We'll hook you up to the book. A little zappity zoo there, a little zappity zoo here, and then you will enter your characters. Make sense?
Yeah. I mean, are there any accidents that happen ever?
Oh, yeah, plenty of accidents all the time. You might get erased from the story. If you die in there, you die in real life. But that's why we hire many of you.
brain
You know,
damage.
that's why
Is
you have
that
someone-
any chances of any lingering side effect? I don't want to know. Actually, never mind.
Hey, you already signed the waiver and everything.
know.
It was a blood pact with the demon lord Asmodeus, so good luck getting out of that one.
He puts the ass in Asmodeus.
Oh, you know I won't say anything about the boss here, okay? Might have any scrying senses up and around. But so I'm supposed to do this thing. Before you go in, it's good for the brain waves to have gone over at least a short summary of the story that you will be entering, or at least the small chunk of the story you will be entering. So you settle in there. I'll hook you all up, relax, and light some scented candles, and we'll get this story on the way. It's not weird. It's procedure.
Bring it on, Tuna Man.
Okay, my name is Dan Brookends, or Dr. Brookends, please, not Mr. Tuna.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dr.
If you call me
Tuna
Dr. Tuna, I'm gonna swear to God, your character's not gonna have a pinky toe.
Man. Right.
Okay, we'll get all hooked up. Say it, whatever. If you want to change into something more comfortable, Sarah, Go ahead.
There is nothing more comfortable than a shirt that tells you the tacos are tasty.
Okay.
Nothing's more comfortable than the absolute truth.
Exactly.
It's a lie. Actually, untrue.
So at this time, Sarah and Laura get hooked up to these machines. They look like chrome eggs. That when you sit in them, they have this like purple velvet seat. That kind of looks like a gaming chair. You put on like these like earmuffs, and over the earmuffs is like a complete it's a leather vinyl bag that just goes right over your head and completely blocks out any sensory information.
I don't have a bag to put on my head. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a leather vinyl black bag. You put your hands down
pencil bag.
onto the armrests of the chair, and it gently starts to like massage your body, and it is soothing. And then all of a sudden, as Dan starts to speak, you see words appear in like a typewritten blue font, just like in this vinyl bag. On a gloomy night, mid-October, ... And then Mindy, if you will take off those headphones, I'm about to tell the story of your whole life.
Goodbye.
Bye. Okay, so for those viewers at home, every session we do will be a specific point in Lady Belizabeth Williams III life. So some chapter, quote unquote chapter, you will, of the story of her life. We will not be going in order. So this is kind of a bit of an anthology series. If you want to start here, go ahead, start here. You won't miss anything but the weird like meta-ness of the game. This is where the story starts. So as you see on your vinyl bag headset, on a gloomy night, mid-October, the wind chills the bone. And at the Quarter College in the burgeoning town of Grimshire, Professor Eleanor Gray prepares for a historic presentation. Gray's colleagues wait impatiently to judge the latest scientific advancement. The flight craft was unlike anything Gray had seen before. She wasn't even sure it was going to work. None other than Lady Belizabeth Williams III, youngest daughter of the Baron, invented the flight craft, and only she had seen it in action. Waiting in the rain for the eccentric lady, Gray's heart can't help but pound furiously in her chest. If anything goes wrong tonight, she muses, I will lose all standing in the college. I will be outcast for backing such a ludicrous research. Sustainable, non-magic flight is impossible, they say. Well, we are going to prove them all wrong. Professor Gray's nerves were settled when Lady Belizabeth arrived with a breathtaking machine. Her flight craft is of an elegant, efficient design. The craftsmanship on the machine itself could sustain flight, which is a feat to behold alone, but coupled with the arcane enchantment etched into its base, providing a boost to energy to jumpstart the craft, as well as protecting it from sustaining damage during flight, the flight craft is marketable and industry-changing. The presentation should have gone without a hitch. Lady Belizabeth was presented with passion in the crowded lecture hall. She was the name on everyone's lips and the source of energy buzzing through the crowd. The test flight right before went perfectly. So how could something so horrendous happen? Gray, standing directly in front of an elaborate tapestry hanging outside the engineering campus of the college, had a front row seat to the destruction of her career. The flight craft lasted all but 12 seconds in the stormy October sky before a bolt of electricity struck it. A fireball of wood and iron rained from the sky, striking the tapestry hanging behind Gray. In a moment, the flames wreathed around her, consuming the professor. As the crowd scattered, screaming, the rain and gale put to rest the flames, revealing the wreckage. The craft and the professor were left unrecognizable. As the months ramble on, both Lady Belizabeth and Professor Eleanor Gray are shunned from the academic community. The professor not only loses their job, but their identity as well. No one pays any mind to Gray. She fades into the background, her scars a warning to those who dare seek out her expertise. Lady Belizabeth is chided by her father and brothers, eventually planning to rebuild the flight craft and planning an exhibition that will take the world by storm. You see those words appear, read by the doldrum voice of Dan Brookend. And then your mission kind of prompt appears. It reminds you that in order for you to get an accurate representation of how the story feels, all the story's elements must stay in place. Now, your goal is not necessarily to achieve witnessing the story in its perfect writing. So if you want to mess with elements of the story, you are more than welcome. You just have to remember to keep it logged to tell the agency later. As the reminder fades away, your consciousness drifts into the machine and everything goes black.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
Oh, we missed you so much.
Oh.
Mindy.
Yes.
In the distance, you see the Quarter College. Let me set the scene. We arrive at the 18th century England, a mid-sized town known as Grimshire, nestled in the woodedness of the outskirts of the English society, near the coasts, but not close enough to constantly be berated by docking ships. No, just perfectly on land is this town. It has a quasi-military interest. The corporals and the higher-ups are drawn here because of Lady Belizabeth's father. He has some kind of standing after the war, but Lord Belvedere Williams III really has the charm to draw in and command presence. That's what he wishes for all of his kids. So that is why he would be so upset if he found that Lady Belizabeth, Matilda, Catherine, and Analinda Williams III was sneaking out in the middle of the night to build a beautiful flying machine. That's important because tonight is the night that machine is unveiled. Professor Eleanor Gray of the engineering department at the Quarter College has worked tirelessly to set up this exhibition of your finished machine, Lady Williams. You see her standing out on this mid-October night. It is chilly. It smells of urine and industry. It smells of England. There's a fluttering in your chest. You know this machine works. You know it's protected. It is of a design of a man that has stolen your heart. It is, though not reliant on arcane in nature, so it is protected from the elements above or to anyone who might wish to do it any physical harm. Everything is in place. You know, as Zoseph would say, "Oh, dearie, don't sweat the small stuff." You get it? Because I'm small. His voice fades away in the wind. And as you get closer and closer, trudging along, dragging your machine behind you, you see the cloaked figure of the professor standing out in the rain, noticing you for the first time. She stands on her tiptoes. You can, without an insight check, see her heart flutter in her chest. She is a ball of Rex. She is nervous to all hell. She has noted many a time that this presentation is paramount to how well she does at this college. She waves you over, and as she waves you over, Mindy, what does your character look like?
She's about, say, 5'6", 5'7". She wears a blue cloak, a blue brocade dress underneath that covers a pair of riding pants, really the only pants that she is allowed to wear, and a pair of boots that are increasingly covered in mud in the I guess the light drizzle that is happening. Her hair is tied back in a messy braid of brunette hair, except a single chunk in the front that is white, very similar to like the X-Men Rogue, due to a chemical explosion in the process of one of her experiments. A little mishap, but it permanently changed her hair. And yeah, carrying this thing over her shoulder, this humongoid flying apparatus.
Lady Williams, it is so good to see you. Oh, I was beginning to fear you weren't going to show. Everything is all set up for you inside.
Of course I would show. What little faith you have in me.
Oh, I have all the faith in you, my dear. I have spent a lot of time and resource on this exhibition. Do you have everything you need?
Well, I mean, if this isn't it, I don't know what else could be.
Well, I hope you figure it out before the exhibition.
Me too. Why are we laughing?
Oh, because the nerves are getting to us, dear. Those old men will be watching. Oh, God. How I wish they all would die in their sleep. But
oh, that's a horrid thing to say, but, you know,
well,
I suppose truth is truth.
Hopefully we can keep it between us. It is a little uncouth, but who more uncouth than the daughter of a baron to make a flight craft?
Oh, don't remind me. And not my flight craft. It is just an improvement on already a genius design, that is all.
Well, unveil it. Let us get a sneak peek before the festivities begin.
So she kind of looks around, somewhat secretive, and unveils the famous flying machine originally created by Leonardo da Vinci, but was never able to make work. So it has this kind of wingspan, a place for a person to essentially lie in. And, you know, and it's got sort of tarp for the wings, a metal frame, that kind of thing.
Is it the one that has like the big like spiral?
No, that's a helicopter. That's different.
Okay.
This one,
so
the wings, it's essentially the frame of it is what inspired Bob Kane and Bill Finger to make the shape for Batman. It's like wings and
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yes.
There you go.
Professor Gray moves around this contraption and inspects every part of it. She gets to the undercarriage, and the undercarriage, you would know, is the part that like houses the enchantment, the large like runic symbol that is used to like propel it off the ground so that it like can fly, though it can sustain flight all on its own. If you push it off of a cliff, it would 100% work, and also like protect it from the elements. So it's like a very, very like important arcane rune that is on the bottom of this. In fact, it's what makes it so marketable, because it is a sustainable apparatus that is able to be like shipped and moved easily. This is what Professor Gray is like very much like hinging on, like hinging the whole presentation on. She's like, those motherfuckers in there are going to want to know about like its durability, because of course they are. Who cares about you completing a feat of science that had not been attempted for the last like 300, 400 years. Oh, well, it looks absolutely amazing. If you will follow me, let us get it all. I know you said you wanted to get in a test flight before you were introduced and you had to talk to the mucky mucks. So I will show you the field and you can show me the magic. Not the magic, the feat of engineering. Oh, sorry if I offended you. Oh.
I mean, what is engineering such as this other than another form of magics?
And what is magics but science we don't understand yet?
Indeed.
Indubitably. At this, Lady Belizabeth, you two move off towards the courtyard, and that is when you hear the sound of thudding feet. You see charging up behind you, late to help you carry this contraption, as he always is, Jonathan Barrett running down the dirt path in the rain to help you with the test flight. Jonathan, you see the two women standing there with a large flight contraption unveiled.
Right. So sorry, Lady Williams, Lady Belizabeth. I'm very sorry. Look,
fashionably late as usual.
He puts his hand on it, picks it up, puts it down. I helped.
Who is this lovely gentleman?
Oh, this is Jonathan, a friend of my brother's. He usually comes along to help, but I have noticed that he often only shows up after the hard work has already been completed.
You're such a capable and competent young lady, Belizabeth. Why would I want to take that away from you?
And flattery will get you everywhere, I suppose. Trudging along.
Well,
Mr. Barrett,
help. Come on.
Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett.
Yes. Hello.
It is nice to meet you. My name is Professor Eleanor Gray. I'm in charge of this presentation.
Oh, yes, Professor Gray. I think I skipped one of your classes.
Lovely. Mr. Barrett, was it? Just yes. Jonathan.
You can call me anything you would like, but Jonathan, Mr. Barrett, whatever.
There's a lot of things I wish I could call you, but there is a lady present.
Oh, hey, she's heard worse. She's got many brothers.
Of course. Shall I save you a seat for the exhibition?
No, I'd be happy. Belizabeth, do you need help? I can help you carry that.
So long as it's actually helpful.
Okay, yes, all right.
As you both start walking away,
careful, don't put your hand there. You put it over here.
All right. I'm sorry.
Eleanor's in the background. It's like, no, it's just that we're at capacity, and I just didn't know you were going to be at the day. You make your way to the field. You set up your incredible flight craft, is what people have been calling it, the flight craft. And how do you test it out?
Well, obviously, I strap myself in. The way it's set up.
I mean,
like
surely you should have had a small urchin child or somebody to test this out.
No, it is my invention and I stand behind it. Well, it's Leonardo's invention that I merely improved upon, although it's hard to improve the genius of that man, and I am the one that stands by it. Therefore, I should be the one to test it. So is there like a little hill or a little cliff? That's where we're at?
Yes. It is the perfect environment that has been scouted out, Professor Gray. This machine is actually, like, because of the arcane sigil, like, you designed this to take off anywhere at any point. So even like a flat land would do. But what would be the perfect environment to send it off?
I'm gonna say if not a extremely high hill, but a significant hill. And essentially, after getting strapped in, just standing there, taking a breath, taking out the portrait of Leonardo da Vinci I always have in my pocket.
That's so
Look
weird.
at it.
That's so weird.
Just like, for you. I put it back, and I look at the edge of this hill, and I simply fall and allow it to be swept up.
And as you fall, Gray like punches Jonathan in the shoulder and is like, "Oh, I'm so nervous."
Bloody hell, woman!
It goes down the hill, into the valley, and it starts like a roller coaster to gain momentum and goes up another hill. At that point, make an Arcana check for me, Lady Belizabeth.
All right. In my little blocks of doom. Oh, no! Hate! Hate! That was awful! It really was a box of doom.
Oh, no.
Oh, no! Yeah, that was a nat one.
On
and
a
the
nat
story
one,
ends now.
It goes up a hill, and you kind of like reflexively pull the brake, and it just tips over.
Sarah, we did bad. We're gonna get fired.
You are going to take, as it just like kind of tips and falls off this hill and like rolls down the hill, you take 9 points.
I am going to use a luck point. Because fuck that for the first roll.
How far, Cameron, how far away is she?
At the top of the hill, she's a good like 10 feet away from you. But at the like bottom of the hill going down, and like trying to come up, that's almost like 50 feet away.
Okay. Can I hold on. Okay, within 60 feet that can hear me, can I yell out and give her some bardic inspiration?
What do you do?
Hell yeah.
Belizabeth, do it for Da Vinci. Don't disappoint him.
Yes,
is that a D12?
It's a D10.
D10. All right. I will take that. Oh, that's a D12. Where's a D10?
Don't
Here we go.
Da Vinci.
So it's like I start to dip because I'm nervous. So it starts to dip, and then I hear that, and I'm like, for Da Vinci. And
For Da Vinci.
For Da Vinci. That's got the 8, and then what is that? It got a little stuck. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's much better. So I've got 23. Much better.
Oh my gosh. So that flash of like a dreaded future you hoped would never happen if you accidentally pulling the brake washes away in your mind as you steel yourself, and with the support of your friend Jonathan, you hit the side of the flight craft. The arcane sigil explodes on the bottom. You soar up into the air, and you start to fly circles around the Quarter College. Inside the Quarter College, in a small lecture hall set up with chairs and like balcony seating, awaits your crowd, Lady Belizabeth. As you are flying around the college itself, a room full of academics, scientists, military leaders, and the occasional curious civilian have all cramped into this small lecture hall. Think a cross between like an actual college lecture hall and Dr. Frankenfurter's like presentation room with like the little like raised seating that like all the professors are looking over with their fat bellies and thinning hair. The Sparrowhawk sits cross-legged in the back of the room. What is she doing, and what does this character look like, Sarah?
The Sparrowhawk is a woman of small frame but large presence, and she is dressed in a comfortable peasant shirt, loosely draped over her, and tight leather pants, as one does. And she is sitting in the back, cleaning under her fingernails, making sure that all of her grooming is up to par for this level of academia.
Can you make a charisma saving throw for me?
Oh dear, what a start!
It's got to be better than my nat one.
Do it for Da Vinci. Oh wait, you're more than 60 feet away.
Charisma saving throw is... Oh, I rolled terribly. 5.
Not much better.
You like notice nobody has taken a seat around you at all. Like it is a packed like people are shoulder to shoulder.
Rude.
Standing room only. But they are staying as far away from you as possible, and you are getting not just like the occasional side eye and whisper, like but people like gawking and staring at you and having full-on conversations about you to your face and very loudly.
Oh goodness, what are they saying?
Make a perception check.
Sure, I'll do that.
And no fucks were given that day by the Sparrowhawk.
Perception. Ooh, I have +0. This will be great. All right, 19.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. With a 19, kind of the general gist of what you get are like uncouth, eccentric, cleaning her fingernails, slept with my wife, like just a whole slew of things. And with that high of a perception check, outside the door, like you kind of glance, waiting for Lady Belizabeth to walk in, as you know is bound to happen, but something you weren't expecting happens. You see a flash of gray light, just quickly, and almost imperceptible from anybody else, but it was weird. It was kind of like out of the boundaries of this scene, and nothing really is supposed to come out of there, not at least for a couple minutes.
Flash of gray light, you say? Well,
Yeah.
This sounds like something for me to investigate.
What do you want to do?
I stand and go to where I saw the flash, and I will investigate further, looking around, allowing the room to view my butt in my leather pants.
Make an intimidation check.
Intimidation.
Hide your wives, hide your husbands. Most of your
That is
wives.
25.
Everybody
yeah.
stays that they do this. They're like stays out of your way. You control this place now. You walk confidently, parting the sea of crazed men and one Mayor Abigail Harlow out of the way. She doesn't like you either. You're blowing them all kisses, flashing your ass in your tight leather pants. You make your way to the door. Now the gray flashing has stopped. It was a quick burst. But as you peer out into the hallway, out of kind of like the bounds of the normal story, everything kind of like comes into focus. You see a long like corridor lined with like brick walls and like an assortment of classrooms, and one of the doors is closing.
Oh, well, that's an invitation if ever I saw one. I'm going to head for that door and boldly open the door.
Okay, you walk in, throw open the door, and you see a short dwarven man. He has a traveling cap on, a long dark trench coat, like dark black hair that you can see like comes around into like a big like bushy beard that touches the floor and is kind of like braided up. Captain Reginald Blackwood turns around and looks at you in full uniform, with rapier at his side, pistol at his holster. A sparrowhawk.
Captain Blackwood, what brings you here? This is hardly your forte.
I could ask you the same thing, lassie.
You could, but I asked first.
He looks you up and down.
I stretched.
Now, what say I arrest you right here and now? What'd you do then? Would you still ask me to answer your question?
I think I'd have even more questions if you did that.
Let's just say I'm here on official business.
Official for who?
He gets so close to you, stands on his tippy toes, squints his dark brown eyes at you. For myself.
Mm.
He nods his head at you, tips his cap. Pirate! And slams out the door.
Well, that was rude.
Sassy.
Make an insight check for me.
Certainly. +0 on that as well. But I'm rolling well. 17.
You can tell he was frustrated. He was expecting somebody to come into that room, and you were not the person.
I'm going to wait for whoever that was.
Okay. How long are you willing to wait?
It's
a weird question to ask in D&D because, like, something might happen.
Well, that depends on how long I'm expecting it to be before the presentation. I won't wait that long.
So you will, if the presentation like starts to like rile up, you'd probably leave.
Yes.
Well, that happens. You wait in here and you hear you hear an explosion like right outside of the far wall of this room. And second, you like a good like 10 minutes after that, hear like the clunking of metal and wood, and the heavy boot steps through mud, as three figures wheeling a large contraption enter the building, and make their way into the lecture hall you were just in. Now, Lady Belizabeth, as you land the contraption and start to put it away, Professor Gray gives you a place to set it. And she says to you, now we will bring out the entirety of the lecture hall to witness the flight of this machine after we have finished introducing the brilliant woman who has invented it. Oh, I'm sorry, not invented it, brought it to life.
Right. Of course. Oh, to talk to people. Lovely. I'm so great at that. High society and all that. It's what I'm used to.
Lady, all you have to do is introduce yourself. And that's mainly just waving to the crowd and getting everybody to come outside. Your work will speak for itself. And if the spirit strikes you, you can say a couple of words. I won't stop you.
You may want to. I find myself in social situations rather the subject of least people's, what's the word? Well, not ire, but at least peculiarity. That's a word.
Well, being one of the only women who work at this college, I can say the same. But you must chin up, do your best, and show them what's for.
What's for, indeed.
What's for.
I'm laughing again.
She squints over at Jonathan and looks him up and down. Now, Mr. Barrett, if you will follow me, I'll find you a seat.
Yeah, of course. And then he does put a hand on the back of Belizabeth's elbow in a very light way. We're not doing any of that Mr. Darcy bullshit here. And he goes, good luck. You will do quite well. You can do this.
Is that from you or for Percival?
Listen, it can be from both.
Jonathan, make a deception check for me.
Okay.
You lying to me?
Hey, you don't know.
And then Lady Belizabeth, if you want to make an insight check, you can. If you trust him, if you feel like that's how your character is, just use your passive insight.
Okay. Passive
I'm
insight
wait.
is 10. Why not? So my insight is, where is it? So that's +0 as well. So that's a 19.
So I rolled a nat 20.
Damn it!
Jonathan,
which would plus is a 35. So
this is the most rousing, pep talkiest, short speech anybody has ever given to you in your life. You feel empowered.
I mean, he already gave me inspiration to remember Leo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
You got this, girl.
In fact, you feel so lucky because of that 30 some odd roll on a nat 20. You get your luck point back.
Sweet.
I really love that was my first roll was nat 20. That'll never happen again, folks. As we all know, Laura rolls like dog shit.
It's to make up for the fact that my first roll was a 1.
Here we go.
As you march your way into the lecture hall, Jonathan and Belizabeth both make charisma saving throws for me.
Okay.
-1. So that's a 13.
Okay.
That was an 11.
Okay. With a 13, Lady Belizabeth, as you enter the room behind Professor Gray, you are looked at, but it is more curiosity than it is animosity or belittlement. Jonathan, nobody likes you in this room.
Yeah.
And it's less of like who you are and more of like, who the hell is that awkward guy coming in late? Yeah. You see Sparrowhawk. Actually, Sparrowhawk, you kind of hear this. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just sort of sidling in after them so that it doesn't look awkward me coming back in.
Right. You sidle up right next to Jonathan, and you both find your seats at the top. And you watch as Professor Gray moves to the podium of the lecture hall and kind of taps her throat like a microphone, and it kind of gets echoey and loud. And she says, "Lady," and points to Mayor Abigail Harlow, who is a dark elf with like striking white hair and red eyes and like gray blue skin. She's like adorned with like silver and navy colors. And as like the professor has pulled down her hood as well, she is like picturesque high elf. Like, well, a high elf mixed with like an old timey librarian, like a dark black hair, like in a tight bun on her head, the chain glasses around her neck. Like she's still like very like fashionable, but efficient also in pants for her work as well. She passionately introduces the Lady Belizabeth. Welcome, all of you. Thank you, one and all, for taking time out of your busy schedules and meeting me here. Now, this once was a lecture hall at the Quarter College, but today, this room, this place, is a historic monument. You will see things like you have never seen before, even in a world full of magic. Engineering and craftsmanship that rival even the gods. You will be stunned. You will be furious. You will be joyful as you see Lady Belizabeth Williams III and her flying contraption, the flight craft, change the world itself. This small, portable, self-sustaining flight machine is powered by only the smallest, weakest of arcane enchantments. But that is not to say this little buggy is not strong. Gone are the days of horse and buggy travel. Gone are the days of mining large materials and tiresome minerals to magically propel ships. That's it. That's all we do. This will change the world. This will change industry. So I ask you, with an open heart and an open mind, welcome the engineer, Lady Belizabeth Matilda Catherine Analinda Williams III. There is a modest clap as she gestures towards you and steps away from the podium.
Thank you, Professor. As stated, I am the Lady Belizabeth Matilda Catherine Analinda Williams III. I have taken the sketches created by the great artist, inventor, scholar, so many things, of the great Leonardo da Ser Piero da Vinci, and have taken one of his few unfinished accomplishments and made it real. I hope that in this creation it will give our world, a way to experience flight beyond those with wings, and to those unable to afford the great expense needed to take an attuned item for themselves. And thank you all for coming.
A polite clap once more. The professor claps to you as well. Now, if everybody would slowly file out of the lecture hall, we have a presentation of the flight craft for you, just right outside. At that, Sparrowhawk, Jonathan, make perception checks for me.
That's a natty one.
There we go. Spreading the love.
17.
A 17. As you are making your way out of the lecture hall, Jonathan, out of the corner of your eye to your left, you see a hooded figure with a copper knife. And they are trying to sneak out of a window. As they kind of climb out of the window and you are all shuffled in like this mass, you see a flash of gray light.
Are they misty stepping?
Trying
to mess with me. Assholes.
Is there any way that I can... Jonathan definitely clocks that, but then looks for Belizabeth. How far away is she?
Belizabeth is at the front of this group of people. You're at the very back with the Sparrowhawk. So it's only about 20 feet, but it's hard to get through this mass of people.
Right. I've got a very bad feeling about this. So we need to make sure she doesn't get in that thing. Somebody else can test it. She shouldn't be in it.
Why don't you make me an Arcana check?
Okay. Just got bad feeling. Also, her brother kind of told me to get her to not be in it. 20. Dirty 20.
20. Mindy, can you remove your headphones for me? Laura knows that Lady Belizabeth is supposed to get into the craft.
Okay.
And it is supposed to be struck by lightning. It is supposed to be destroyed.
Okay.
With a dirty 20, what you know as Jonathan and as Laura knowing the story is that further down the line in the story, the flight craft is known to have been vandalized.
Got it.
Lady Belizabeth learns later that the flight craft is vandalized and there is some sort of copper residue on that is crossed out the enchantment.
Okay. And so she needs to be the one flying it. I mean, she's the one who knows how to fly it, so
she's the one who knows how to fly it. That is just to be said that she does not get mortally wounded.
Got it. Okay.
By the destruction of this flight craft.
Okay. All right. Secrets. No, it's all fine. Everything's fine.
Yes, buddy.
So, I do have a bad feeling about this.
Why? What's going on?
I don't know. Have you seen anything weird?
Nothing out of place.
Listen, can you stow me away if something bad happens and she dies? Because her brother will murder me.
Jonathan Sparrowhawk, you hear a muffled scream coming from right outside the window.
Oh, well, okay, now, obviously. Let's go. Okay,
Yeah.
He goes to the window.
I'm up, checking the window.
Peeks out.
Both of you, as you go to the window, make a perception check for me to see if you can see this in time.
Somebody fuck with my ship.
Not me. 5.
No. Perception?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
7.
7. You run to the window and you see like a mass of like particles. Gray and white and black, like static electricity on a television. And you hear the clud of a knife drop onto the stone. You see on the floor, like not even 5 feet away from you, on the path that leads to the steel-covered flight machine, a knife, a copper dagger that almost looks newly made, perfect, not a scratch, not a speck on it.
Okay. Right.
What'd you see? Anything interesting?
It's just the weirdest shit. Got really fuzzy. There's a lot of like just a bunch of particles, like walking through a swarm of gnats. You ever done that? Like really weird.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
All right. That certainly is crazy, but that's all right. We'll just keep on going then, won't we?
Okay. Come here. Come over here.
Yeah.
Do you see something sharp and pointy? Coppery looking?
I assume I see the knife if I look outside.
Yeah, look at the knife. Why don't you just like even make an investigation check on the knife to look for something sharp and pointy.
Certainly.
It's a DC 5.
I might not make that. No. 18, I did it.
Okay.
With an 18, 13 over the DC, not only do you see something sharp and shiny, you know that this knife has never been used before, ever, to do anything.
Well, that's odd.
Right? It feels, but I also like kind of don't want to touch it. I don't. You want? I mean, you have more use for a dagger than I do. Do you want to?
I would say even like with an 18, the Sparrowhawk, you know exactly what knife this is and exactly what it's supposed to be used for.
Oh, good. What is it?
It's something titular to the story.
Mm.
Maybe just, I don't know.
All right. So, am I supposed to be fucking with the story, or am I supposed to be just sort of going along with the ride?
You can do whatever you want.
That's the question. That's the question.
You can do whatever you want, but you know in this moment unequivocally, if you do nothing, the story is fucked with.
Oh, really?
Oh, because it's not been used.
Ah, I see. Hmm. Care to commit a crime?
I haven't done one in a while. Yeah, let's go for it.
All right.
Great. I'll watch. You're better at like damage. I'll run distraction.
Lady Belizabeth, you and Gray are leading this crowd of like a good like probably 100 people out into the courtyard. It is starting to rain hard. The wind is picking up. The sky is almost completely black, save for the small like bolts of lightning that are high up in the cloud, illuminating the sky every time they strike the earth. You look over and you see your flight craft undisturbed where you left it. And Professor Gray turns around and faces everyone and clasps her hands together and looks at you and says, "Are you ready for this?"
As ready as I'm going to be.
What do the other two do?
Huh?
So it's the craft is out in the open in full view of everybody.
It's in full view of everyone except for Lady Belizabeth and Professor Gray, who have their backs turned to it.
Right. But still, like 100 people can see it.
100 people can see it, yes. It would be a grand feat to hide yourself behind it and make your way down the path.
Hiding is not my thing, baby.
What do I have?
Bright and colorful.
Listen, I got you. And he reaches over and puts a hand on your shoulder and casts greater invisibility.
Oh.
It's only good up to 1 minute. He's like, you got to go fast.
Okay.
Can you do this in and out?
Fast I can do.
All right.
The two of you standing inside, looking out of the window at the crowd, gather around the flight craft. Professor Gray turns towards Lady Belizabeth Williams, nods her head, and gestures towards the craft.
All right. I guess I'm climbing out the window.
You climb out the window.
Invisibly.
Lady Belizabeth, the show is yours.
I go to the craft and, thinking about how it dipped a little bit, I do a cursory inspection just to make sure that everything is okay.
Okay. You take off the tarp and give it a good look over. Make a tinker's tool check.
Sure. Which is what?
So that would be your intelligence or dexterity plus your proficiency.
Sweet. Okay, that I can do.
That didn't fall in the box. There we go. In the box. So that is intelligence plus proficiency? Okay.
Yes.
So that is 24.
24. You see, this is in tip-top shape. Absolutely nothing is wrong. This is 100% ready to fly right now. Even if a bolt of lightning hit it, it wouldn't fly out of the sky.
Then I strap it on.
Strap on.
And start to and take off.
Okay. I would like both of you to make opposing dexterity saving throws.
Okay. Oh, that sucked. You know what? That's terrible. And
I got a nat 20.
yeah, so I'm not even going to bother with a luck check. I have a 3.
So with a 3, you are ready. You are focused. You make it in the machine, and you set it down the hill. Sparrowhawk, mission complete.
All right.
You fly down the hill. And once again, as you dip down, you're about to come up. I need you to make an Arcana check for me to fly this machine.
Much better. 21.
21. It explodes 2 times. You fly higher into the air than you did the last time. A little faulty. You know that's not supposed to happen, but you are in the air and you are flying, and everything is great. And you hear a gasp from down below. You hear the murmur of the crowd, the Sparrowhawk, Jonathan. As you both kind of mingle your way and make your way into the crowd, you see everybody is just gasping and in awe of Lady Belizabeth's flight machine. There are a few like men and soldiers in uniform who are like hastily talking, like enterprising. And you look around, you see like the beautiful tapestry that is hanging on the wall outside of the engineer college. It's oranges, it's yellows, it's like red background, and geometric design kind of like dance in the wind as the storm picks up. Flashes of lightning, the sound of thunder, the rain is hard. The Sparrowhawk, Jonathan, make a perception check for me.
16.
16? A 14. With the 16, you see Professor Gray. She has noticed something. At the door of the building, there's a gray light glowing, and she is walking towards it. She disappears from view. You're distracted again, Jonathan, by the fluttering of the tapestry. Belizabeth, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Because I did so well the last time. Why? 4.
4.
Yeah.
Lady Belizabeth, Matilda, Catherine, and Analinda Williams III. You take 72 points of lightning damage as a lightning strike.
I'm full on dead. Like
crashes into the ground.
I'm not even death with saving throws. I'm dead.
It has gone over double your hit points.
Wait, you said 72?
72 points of damage.
Okay.
You have 38.
I have 38.
So 76 would be the threshold.
We went too hard. We did it too good.
Not dead yet. You tumble out of the sky in a fireball of wood and iron, headed straight towards a large red target. You hit the tapestry and it alights in flame. Just as, Jonathan, you see this, the professor, Eleanor Gray, steps out behind the tapestry. It envelops her like a tornado of fire, and she screams and crashes to the ground. You see Lady Belizabeth knocked out cold about 10 feet from you. What do you do?
I definitely run up and... well, I don't even have to run up because it's across the way. I'm going to do healing word to at least get her back up.
What do you say?
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how much of a healing word I'm going to do. Think about Da Vinci.
You hear the end of the sentence. You hear Jonathan Barrett say Da Vinci, and you gasp for life, and you hear ringing in your ears. Boom, 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 boom. The world around you is smoke and fire and screaming. You see a writhing body on the floor, burned in a tapestry of flame. Next to it, another body, something probably more valuable than human life to you. A burning iron and wood that once was your flight craft, slowly being pelted by rain, steam flying off of it. The first sounds you hear are the voices of scientists and academics scoffing and exclaiming, of course, this could never happen. A self-containing flight machine that uses little to no magic at all. Preposterous.
I crawl over to it and I cast mending.
You cast mending, and the second you say the arcane words and weave the magical spells, you see an inch repairs itself, a small amount of hope that this thing can be built again, but it is quickly torn asunder by the raging fire that consumes this once beautiful craft. And as you sit there, like meticulously mending, over and over and over again, the rain pelts, slowly extinguishes the fire, revealing the burnt tapestry with the body of Professor Eleanor Gray next to your machine. The crowd is dispersed at this point. The only two left are the Sparrowhawk and Jonathan Barrett standing over you in this rain.
That shouldn't have happened. It was protected against things like lightning and the weather. And that's when I notice Gray and just like shock. And I go over to her and I do healing word as well.
Okay, what's your healing word?
My healing word is... Oops, why did I do that? I've never used that. I don't want to use it. I didn't mean to press that button. Hold on, let me get my little triangle. There we go. Okay, my little triangle. Lame. So it is 6.
6.
But what do you say?
But what do you say?
What do I say? I don't say anything. I just like touch her hair. Like in the side of her face.
Like almost all of her hair has been like completely burnt off. But as you like touch her and give her this comfort of another human, the rain pelts her and the water starts to heal some of her wounds, and the slow, raspy breathing turn to like steady. Did it work?
No. I don't understand it. And what happened to you? I get why I was taken from the sky, but it shouldn't have affected anyone on the ground.
Covered in this burnt tapestry, the woman that you once knew is not the woman that you're staring at. This being is mangled and burnt, and they are, as they're speaking to you in this moment, a shell of what they once were. I don't know what happened. I had a conversation and all of a sudden the sky was on fire.
I checked the machine. It was perfect. It shouldn't have done that.
You checked the machine, lady. I'm so glad you checked the machine. I am ruined, Williams. I'm ruined. I'm ruined.
I just sit back. I don't even respond. I just start to cry.
Ruined! Ruined! And she screams the word over and over and over into the night sky.
The only thing that Belizabeth can come up with is just a very quiet, I'm sorry.
I never should have trusted you.
Oh, come now, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Everything happens because the gods willed it. Don't think we need to be casting blame on mere mortals doing our best to escape our limits.
And after a while of just being stunned, I just get up and limp run away to Zoseph and to the trees and try find my way back to the gnomes.
You run away.
Yeah.
You run away. The lady takes off in front of you. Jonathan and the Sparrowhawk, you are left with the scene. Now, however this story was supposed to turn out, I don't think you were quite prepared for the heart-wrenching reality of what stands in front of you. The burnt pile of dreams that lay smoldering in a pile next to a person forever changed. And still, that mysterious gray light haunts you in the back of your mind. That's not supposed to be here. Well, there's a story to finish and things to be done. There's a body. There is a smoldering pile of wreckage, and they need to get someplace. What do you do?
Right. I can get her where she needs to be to get help. That might be the easiest task for me.
All right. You take care of her, and I suppose this machine falls to me. Have it taken back to the lady's laboratory.
It's not at her home. And that's as far as her brother has told me. It's not. She does not work at her home.
Well, it could hardly be easy, could it?
No. How much does Percy know, or how much has he told me? Like, is it a known? Is it a badly kept secret where she goes in the family?
I wouldn't have told him specifically. I mean, if he managed to find a way to like follow me, maybe. But like, this isn't something where it's like, oh, I'm going over here at this address. No, It's like, I'm going to work on my inventions and I'll be back in the morning kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It is a very well-kept secret.
Okay.
About Lady Belizabeth and Joseph.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe...
if there's nowhere to take it, then I suppose I'll have to rent out a warehouse or something.
Or perhaps you could try to follow her and I can try to handle this mess. And you can get... I don't know. What do you think? What do you think you're better at? Chasing her or dealing with wreckage?
I'll try chasing her, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck, honestly. You're a better woman than I am, and a better man too, honestly. And I give bardic inspiration.
There you go.
You'd be surprised how often I'm told that. All right.
Truly,
So-
truly amazing.
Lady Belizabeth, why don't you give me stealth with disadvantage, and the Sparrowhawk just give me a straight either investigation or perception roll.
Okay, investigation or perception. Either of those are +0, so this is going to be fine.
And you got that
Nice.
D10.
So that would be an 18.
Okay, an 18.
Yeah, I got a 17 and an 18, and then a +1. So
Let's go.
Come on, Sarah's dice.
Yeah, no, even if I rolled a 10 on that D10, I would still not hit an 18.
Oof. You eventually lose the trail of Lady Belizabeth, but in tracking her, halfway through, she kind of like disappears when she reaches the woods, but kind of wandering around with this big thing, you eventually see like a warehouse. To dry and cut, a warehouse, but it looks like it's like made out of like woodwork and iron instead of like brick and mortar and paneling.
All right. What area of town is this?
It is in the woods.
There's a warehouse in the woods. All right.
There's a warehouse in the woods.
That's fantastic. I will go around to the front and make my presence known.
Okay. It doesn't seem like anybody is here at the moment. The door is relatively unlocked, depending on how well you are at lock picking.
Yeah. Understood.
It's my favorite description ever. Relatively unlocked.
Relatively unlocked is a great one. I will make my way inside then, because I need a place to put this stuff.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Absolutely.
Or thieves' tools, which is the same thing.
15.
15 easily enough, with one hand holding the machine and one hand like definitely like scrounging around with your lock picks. You get open the door, like throw it open like a garage, and
Only way to do it.
Lady Belizabeth, can you describe what your and Joseph's like workshop looks like?
it's rather stereotypical, though it's a little bit different in that it's slightly underground. You know, it's more like, you know, the gnomes live in the trees. So this one is kind of like in more kind of a cavey part of the root system. So it's somewhat enclosed in that regard. A big wooden door. Inside, it's got, you know, typical of a workshop type of thing. Tables, tools on the wall. There's a fire, not too close to the root system, but, you know, in order to melt any kind of metals that are necessary. There are leather aprons as well on the walls and that sort of thing. But yeah, somewhat typical for a traditional workshop.
And the other thing you see is in a space where it looks like something big and machine-y is supposed to go, there is a glowing patch of gray light.
All right. Tired of seeing that already. In the space where a machine is supposed to go. A machine perhaps the size of the one I'm carrying?
Perhaps, perchance.
Perchance. All right. Well, I'm going to... Let's test this. I'm going to put it exactly where it goes.
As you walk over to this gray light, you see it's not like a flash of gray light. There are, like, in this like fuzzy, staticky light, there are words written on the space.
Oh dear. All right. What does it say?
I guess you should put it here from the editor.
Oh,
Open up your inventory. Take out the thing. No, turn it. Turn it.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
As you pick up Gray and take her to get some healing, she kind of directs you to her small little place. Very humble, like teacher's cottage. She doesn't say much. Her like professional and like pleasant-esque demeanor that was there before has been replaced by like vitriol and like anger and hopelessness as she limps at your side. She throws like she can't throw. She very weakly pushes open the door, and you lead her to her bedchambers. She eventually like settles in and is the whole time like muttering to herself like obscenities and the word ruined and trust and bullshit.
Does she have any kind of like a servant, like somebody that would like clean the house or something, like a maid?
Oh, absolutely not. She's a professor at the college. She's like, they have given her these quarters. She maintains them herself. Like there's like a broom and a wash pen.
Got it. Right. Well, while you do that, whatever that is, I guess I'll go and send somebody to help you. Right? Sound good? Or do you want to just keep doing that?
Just muttering to herself on the bed. Take a look around. Why don't you give me a perception check?
Okay. Not great. It's an 8.
Even with an 8, like you kind of look around. There's a mess. There's a clutter here, like a creative academic clutter. Papers on the table. Something like sticks. It's like all like scientific like formulas and like nonsense that you don't understand. But like you see like some like botanist, like alchemical, and then you see a name, Sylvia Fairweather.
Okay.
You know this to be like the botanist in town. She's like a little kooky, but like supplies like herbs and other like potions and lotions and soaps and bubbles and
Oh yeah, Sylvia.
things like that.
Right.
You also see, as you kind of like turn around, written on the wall almost like in blood, but words in that gray light.
Yeah, I don't like that. Already, not a fan. Okay. What does it say?
You kind of have to take a step back because they're just like sprawled over the entirety of the wall. Very, very hard to miss, even with an 8. But they say, just leave her here from the editor.
Right. Okay. That's pretty damn clear. I will take my leave of you, madam. But I will say maybe you should try doing something for yourself instead of riding people's coattails. Good night. Okay.
As you shut the door, you hear just a wail, a scream. We'll cut from there, and Lady Belizabeth, you trudge into the woods this rainy October cold night. You smell pine and manure, and as you get close to the cottages where the gnomes live in harmony, this small, well, to you, very small cottage that smells of like burning wax and incense and like oil, as well as coal and the iron of like metals. It's like metallic and it's homey. And as you kind of like bust in, you see Joseph. And could you describe Joseph to us, this very important figure in the lady's life?
I actually don't bust in. I go to the door and I am about to knock, but I am just so disappointed with myself and so disheartened that I essentially just kind of put my hand on the door and slide down it and just start crying in a puddle.
Oh, I'm going to make a check.
It's also raining, so it's a literal puddle.
Yes, that
It's a
too.
little bit of a...
Raining is the best part. Like, raining is the best time to cry. Nobody can ever see you.
And I'm sure there are windows, so he can both hear that thud and look out a window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and with a 17 perception, Joseph, this small little gnome, makes his way to the door, opens it up, and as you kind of like fall onto him, takes you and carries you over to the couch and just strokes you as you cry.
So in answer to your question as to what he looks like, he's obviously tiny. He's, they're only like 3 feet tall. He has a white hair that's somewhat longer. It's tied back in like a bun. And he has also a white beard that's slightly bigger than yours. It like goes down to a bit here. Not like full devastating, but it's like, and he always has a bit of an apron on, cloth apron to like keep some of his tools in. He just always has, simple shirt, simple pants. He's somewhat buff just because he has to carry around a whole bunch of metal and big things around. But not like too crazy. But yeah, so that's Joseph. Joseph's Thistle Spring.
Well, Belizabeth, everything's going to work out just fine. No matter what happened tonight. Look, those grubby old men in their high tower will love you just as I do. If you give them time and you show them your heart.
I showed them my heart, and it burned to the ground. And I take in my pocket is also the sketch, and I crumple it up and I throw it against the wall.
Oh, yes. Failure must feel like a raging fire within our hearts. But he kind of
but it shouldn't have failed. That's the thing. I checked it before. I tested it, and then I checked it. There's no reason that it should have been shot out of the sky like that. There is no reason at all that it should have failed. And now, the professor hates me, and everyone thinks I'm a joke. There's no reason that this should have happened, but it did.
Well, pardon me, lady, for being frank, but what the fuck else could you have done then? Why are you beating yourself up over this if you did everything you could to make sure it was right? Isn't that all we could do at the end of the day? You sit down. I will uncrumple this. Folds it up. And I'm going to go get you some tea. And you're going to tell me the whole damn story. And then we're going to fucking build that machine better than it's ever been built before. Goddamn feeling sorry for yourself, motherfucker.
Little gnome man, why do you speak this way?
He lives in the woods. He goes and he makes you some tea, and for the rest of the night, as the wind howls through the wooden walls, you're comforted. You feel at home, And though a massive failure today was, you know that there will be a brighter tomorrow and another chance. Another flight. Jonathan and Sparrowhawk, whatever the rest of your stories are to be told about this night, that is up to the characters. For Laura and Sarah, you feel an overwhelming sense of a pull, and like a pop, you are back in the fluorescent light, with the man, Dan Brookend, looking over at you and smoking a cigarette that he hastily puts out as he sees you're coming to.
Dan, what the fuck?
Seriously,
Okay,
why are you
well,
smoking?
Hey. So it's your first day here, so I know a lot of things might seem confusing to you, but that was probably just a trick of the lights.
Uh-huh.
It's just a side effect of coming out of the story, okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey, good job in there. You didn't die. I'm proud that we kept 2 of you. I'm gonna leave. Just close up when you're done. I know it might take a little bit. If you need to throw up, the trash can's over there. If you want to talk it out, you can do that before you go.
What was the gray stuff?
What?
What was the gray stuff, Dan?
What the fuck are you talking about, Sarah?
There's gray, like, and
there's a lot of gray stuff in the world. I don't like.
And like, there was a wall with the biggest writing on it that was really, really fucking hard to read.
Okay, wall with writing
from the editor.
Okay.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Who's the editor?
Well, I don't get paid enough for this. You're gonna go to your separate rooms and write it in your report and turn it into the big guy. Any complaints or weirdness that came out of it, that's not my job. I just run the machines. Bye. Have a good night.
All right, I'm gonna bring your air freshener when you're back.
Shut up.
It's okay.
He's gone.
Okay, I feel really bad now.
I know.
Like, I feel really bad.
I know. I felt really good at first because I was so supportive, and then I had to completely undermine her whole shit.
Like, I know that it's not real, like it's just a story, but I feel bad.
I don't, but you're a badass, by the way. Like,
did you see those pants? Those pants were awesome.
Those were great pants. Like, I'm sorry that my character was objectifying you. You don't know that yet, but he was 100% like checking it out.
Yeah.
It was really hard to walk. He literally took away my pinky toe.
Asshole.
I know, it was kind of cool.
As you kind of laugh and muse in this space and tell each other of your experiences inside of the story of Lady Belizabeth Williams III, you get your bearings. The camera pans out, you chuckling to yourselves, and we fly over once again. Scheherazade Enterprises, located in the deserts of 1,000 stories. And maybe next time we can tell you about a brighter tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Goodbye. Blowing kisses to all the haters.
All of them, nobody else. They're all nodding. Okay, how do I get out of this?
You hit end recording.
I'm gonna